So at the beginning of the film, we see a car that stopped at a gas station. One of them goes to the garage inside the nickel and asks the mechanic to fix his car. But the mechanic replied that today the garage is closed and no car will be fine. The man said, "Please fix it. My dad's health is very bad and I need to go there." The mechanic looked greedy. He asked the stranger, "Will you pay me in cash?" Yes. When I got the answer, he started fixing the car, and after fixing the car, he asked for $200 to fix a small problem. Instead of paying, stranger looked at him and laughed. "I knew you were greedy, so I have something for you." He took out the particle and shot it there and threw the particle there and came out. After leaving, this stranger wants to be with a man named Slim. The one who shoots his arrow comes here. The truth is that just now, this man stranger killed the G's mechanic. Slim had given him the task of killing him because that was how the man was. Slim's money was not returned. This time Slim was being fixed. Someone had tried to steal something from her outside in the night, and what was stolen will be known in the last of the movie. Now we see a girl working at this bar, Marilyn, whose boyfriend was supposed to come to propose to her today. She also made a cake for her boyfriend. Today was very special for him. That's why she decides to leave early. Go to your boss. Stranger was sitting there on vacation, didn't listen to the two of us, but for now she left here. That stranger also leaves there taking drugs and money and on coming home. Now Marion hears the first voice message, which was from her boyfriend Travis. He tells her that my mobile battery is about to die and I am on my way. I will reach my last breath soon. I put my phone on charging and fell in love with Lynn. He took a little dip, changed his clothes, and in all this we got to see that he also kept a gun in his house. Suddenly he heard a loud voice coming through his door, as if someone was coming in. Panicked, when she went down, she saw that the door was shaking with the wind. There was no one else there. The scene gate is now on the road. Stretcher is shown who was taking his car. Sometimes it was found in his hand that he also had drugs. He decided to take drugs while sitting in the car. Then in this affair, his attention is diverted from the road ahead. The car was still running and moving. Someone came in front of the car and had an accident with his car. When the stranger tried to stop his car, the car crashed into him. Stranger's legs were also injured in this accident, but he is brave enough to go out, and he sees the one who was hit by his car. He saw that the girl's condition had deteriorated. His mouth was badly damaged, unrecognizable, and blood was flowing like water. The stranger looked around and saw a light moving. Someone is saying, now stranger thought of running away from here. First he drove his car. When his car did not run, he tried to drive the boy's car in front. When this boy's car also did not run, he took out the reins of this boy's car, put this girl in his pocket and dragged the body by the foot and took inside the forest made on the side of the road. He really wanted to hide the body. Now we see the Marines again. She was preparing food at home. Suddenly someone started knocking on his door. He thought Shahid would be Travis, but like Baglo, he never knocked on the door. In just a few minutes, he realized that the brother was not the driver but someone else. Mahali didn't open the door, but whoever it was came in through the back door. And it turned out to be a stranger. The house that he saw burning lights in the distance was a Maryland house, and now he came to a Maryland house. I told him what Maryland wanted. He ties Marilyn's hands and feet and ties her to a chair while here outside Maryland. We see the police near his boss film. The police had come to him to investigate the murder of his friend McCain, but the film categorically denied that I did not commit murder. I was in my bar all day. You can check if you want. So far, the police have confirmed that the murder has left its smell there. Hearing this, he also found it a little strange why stranger would leave his gun there. He left the evidence there instead of erasing it. Well, now her friend had come to give her cake as she had left it at the bar. She repeatedly refused the gate, but when no one opened the door, she left the cake outside and stranger kept noticing her from above. As soon as he leaves the girl's mother, he relaxes very comfortably and starts drinking milk. After that, he looked at Malim with strange eyes. He approached Malim, he took the cloth out of Malim's mouth and then covered her skirt properly over her. Annie seemed to have bad intentions. This was not the case at all. Now he starts checking Marilyn's hair and we and stranger get to know from the picture that arrived here. This stranger had just hit the guy with his car and nobody was Marilyn's boyfriend. Stranger came here to get his help. She wanted Marlon's car, which she wanted too much. But Marlon's car was with her boyfriend. They had the same car and the same bike. When Marlon asks about the keys, Marlon tells him that the traffic keeps all the keys. Yes, the same keys that stranger put in his pocket and dropped him in the forest. Stranger also understood that now he has to go to the forest again to take the keys. Here he went out into the forest where we were shown outside Marilyn, where it was time for the last girl to work to go home. That is, Marilyn's college. She went to her boss's room to tell her. When I was going home, the boss caught her and started doing wrong with her because this girl had also taken money from the boss, i.e., from Slam. Slam used to consider the people he gave money to as his property. Then this girl somehow escapes and leaves here and Slam thinks of seeing his gun. It was his grandpa's gun, which he always kept in a box. As soon as he opened the box, his mind started to explode because now there was no gun in that box. Blood started coming from his nose. He understood the whole thing. It was stolen yesterday. There were no teenagers involved in the theft, nor did they steal anything trivial. The thief was Stranger who stole Slim's gun. He had murdered Slim's man with Slim's gun and Gunmo had left him there so that if there was an investigation. So Slim was stuck in his case? Slim's mind was going bad? This stranger went to double-cross him. He had also taken money from Slim. Like many others, he was trapped by Slim. Now it is shown that the stranger has arrived in the jungle. He is looking for the body of the traffic in the forest so that they can take his case. He could get out of here on his bike. But what you see when you come to the forest is that this boy was still alive and was trying to go to his house by crawling. When Stranger Sub came to him, he got scared. His body was too much for him. There was a lot of weakness in him. As soon as he finished, his blood spatter fell on Stranger and Stranger went mad with rage. Although there was no fault of Travis, Stranger decided to punish him for this mistake and killed him. Finally, Travis was dead. After killing him, he started fumbling in his pockets, from which he also found the ring that he had gone to pick up, which he was to propose to her today. Stranger also kept the ring with him and also took out the geese. After that, he now has his body. I wanted to put it in a permanent place. That is, he wanted to bury it, and when Stranger was doing this work, he passed through here, saw an accidental car of Stranger on the road in Slim Car Slim, and saw a lot of Hun on the road. He understood that something had happened to the stranger, and if something like that, the stranger would be around here. He just wanted revenge. When he looked away, he didn't like Marilyn and went to Marilyn's house. Now that the car was damaged, he was also looking at Travis. She quickly opened Marlene as soon as she got home and gave Marlene the sobering news that Travis's car was accidental on the road and Travis was in it. And there were also many phones on the road who understood what had happened, but she didn't want to understand. Now he asks, where is the stranger? And from the back it is shown that stranger has also come inside carrying an axe. Stranger did not wait for a second. Let no one know, an axe too in one stroke. He got into Slim's mess and murdered him. Marilyn was very afraid to see all of Sarah. Slim's phone splashes were on his mouth. She tries to climb up to save her life, but the axe comes and keeps it directly near his level. Thankfully she escaped that axe because she had fallen down and this axe stroke got stuck in the door. As soon as Stranger pulled out his axe, Merlin ran upstairs. Stranger was also now heading upstairs to kill Merlin. As soon as she went up, the woman lifted her head. As we saw earlier, the door was closed. As soon as the doorknob started turning, he tightened his trigger from here. He heard the sound of the trigger, so he walked away. He knew he couldn't do that in front of him. Marlin has a weapon in his hand that he can kill. He was now back out the door. He had a trick going on in his mind and went downstairs and turned the doorknob in such a way that Marilyn thought he had gone out of the house, but he was inside. He came up the stairs and waited for Marilyn to pick up the axe. When Marilyn realized that she had gone out of the house, she left the room and Stranger broke her nose in the first stroke. The gun in his hand also fell away. He was unprepared for this attack. He was ready for the second time. He looked up and shot him. He knew he would die soon. Last month he thought about taking drugs. The drug packet comes out of the pocket and tries to open it. Before he could use these drugs, he was shot with another opinion. His work sucks. When he fell down last month, he took out a ring from his pocket and threw it in front of Marilyn. Marilyn grabs and picks up the ring. Travis showed him the picture. She broke down and started crying. All this happened today on the day of engagement. Looking at him. That stranger died laughing, and now in front of the stranger was the drugs that he could not take, and there was voting in his hand whose future he could not achieve, and just showing that the story ended here.